It is so good to have you join us on this episode of Valiant Voices, showing on your digital-first Pan-African News Network, TOS Television. I am Merciful Ajinamo. Enterprise development in Africa has become a vital tool for galvanizing economic development, with enormous opportunities for the young to turn ideas and talent into viable ventures. Entrepreneurship means that young Africans no longer have to find a job or be trained to be employers. Instead, it will enable our young people to create their own jobs, become employers, and take charge of their futures instead of letting the future happen to them. I touched base with our Valiant voice for this episode, Tessy Egonu, a lawyer, philanthropist, and fashion designer, as she shares her story.
My name is Tessy Egonu, Creative Director of Resatoni Creations, founder of Entrepreneurship Foundation. As you can see, I started my fashion business in 2016, immediately after NYSC, October. I finished NYSC first week of October, and the next week I started Resatoni Creations, thanks to my father, who was very supportive. He always told me that once I was done with my education, he was going to sponsor my fashion business, and he kept true to it. I started, first of all, in his laundry. He had his laundry, and I was there. He gave me a space there where I had my tailors and my own space for receiving customers. And then he was helping with the staff for the meantime. After 6 months, he said, okay, if you're a baby, you'll be crawling by now. So, you should start doing something for yourself, and which was very inspiring and motivated me to sit up. And then I was with him for 4 years. And I finally moved to my own place here. No, I was with him for 3 years. And then I finally moved, we separated, and I came to get my own place and pay my own rent. And it's been a very, very beautiful journey, bittersweet, because I've always loved fashion. Since I was a child, like 3, 4, 5 years, I used to style myself and model for my father and my mom on the runway, wear her clothes. And so even when he asked me, what do you want to be? I said a fashion designer. And he's like, just go and study law, just have it at the back. And then when you're done, I'll sponsor your fashion dream. So yes, so that's why I've been pushing further. The main idea of Resatoni Creation is supposed to be a ready-to-wear fashion line. But, to start a ready-to-wear fashion line is really tough. You need a lot of money, bulk money, and, it's tough. So I decided to go into made to fit. So customers come in, take measurements. It's really very tough. It was one of the toughest experiences because human beings are different. You meet different types of people every day, and I've had terrible experiences with certain customers. This business costs the ulcer pain I have right now. I had customers who will call me 10 in the night. Sometimes send me stinking messages. They call it stinkers, right? Around 1. I was just starting then, and it was so tough. And also, I didn't have someone to mentor me along the line to know, okay, you have your rules, you have your regulations. Your customers shouldn't have boundaries. This is the time for work. So I just started like that, and I was trying so hard to please my customers. That was the first mistake I made. I will make sure I was trying to please them beyond. They could say, oh, I only have 5K for a dress, and I'll add my money to so they could come back. But I think they kind of started taking advantage of the fact that I was too nice. So I think in business, you have to have your discipline. You have to discipline yourself and have your boundaries. Your customers have to know, okay, you are paying 5K for a dress, fine. You can't ask for more than what's the cost of the dress. Also, you have to also have your working hours. Now I have my working hours. I have certain customers, sometimes I do go out of my way depending on the situation, but I let them know my working hours are Mondays to Saturdays. So time. You can't send me messages by 10 in the midnight, 11 in the midnight. I'm making inquiries. You have to wait till the next day. And then also fitting. Some customers will tell you, okay, I'm coming to fit, and then you wait for them on a Monday, wait for them on a Tuesday, wait for them on Wednesday, Thursday, and you have other things you want to do, and it's transportation to come to the office waiting for them. So I realized I started putting all those factors, all those costs into the money I was making. If you're paying me 10K for a dress and I come to the office 5 times for you, that's 5,000 naira I've spent on transportation, and you didn't show up. So I have to let them know you're going to book an appointment. If you're going to cancel, give me heads up. 2-3 hours before, oh, I can't make it, and then we'll make sure that you're coming the next day. And then, you know, that's how I was able to start creating value, and I had more time to do other things. And that's when I decided to start the foundation, Entrepreneur Women's Foundation. It's, first of all, I have always been someone who believed in women empowerment. One, because my mom, and then also the way my dad trained us as women. He didn't train us as the way they would train a Nigerian girl, go to school, get married, and he always wanted the best for us. You know, there's a time he told his friends, one of his friends, that I'm not training my daughters as daughters, I'm training them as men. And that's how he trained us, you know, to sit up, to hustle, to get out there and do something for ourselves. And so, yeah, he has always been that kind of person. That's where it came to my mind. I realized a lot of women lack the support, especially from their parents. You know, the first thing they want you to do is go to school, then get married. That's the next step. They don't think about you getting a job, making money, you know, finding yourself. That's something that we are trying to do with Entrepreneurship Women's Foundation. A lot of women, even though they have that opportunity, society makes them feel like, why are you doing this? I mean, come on, your father has money, you're taking care of yourself. Why do you have to start something for yourself? Your husband is doing good. So society also puts some pressure on women to just stay behind and not want to bring out their voice, and that's what Entrepreneurship Foundation is about. Apart from that, we have the side where we look out for women in underserved communities, especially women who've lost their husbands, widows. It's already so tough, you know, in the underserved community. Not having a man there for you or support is hard. And then, like, we recently had an outreach, which we did last year and this year, sanitary pad outreach. You know, when I was growing up, I used to look on when I see all these people begging. I'm like, so if they're begging for 20 naira, 15 naira, it was the weirdest thought. How do they, like, do their periods? You know, what did they do? I always used to wonder. It's something, if I see a woman on the street, you know, the way they're dressed, I'm like, is she on her period right now? Will she be able to afford a pad? Is she wearing a pad right now? So it has always been something I said, if I have the opportunity, it's not expensive. You don't have to give 1,000 women. You could just, on your streets, there are women on your streets, or the people washing clothes for you or something, say, oh, here's a pad for your monthlies, because these people can't afford it. Some people are making 5,000 a month. I think pad is the least on their mind. They'll feel, okay, I have a piece of cloth there, and, you know, and it's not hygienic. So yeah, that's one of the most simplest thing we can do, women to women. That's a way of supporting each other. You can start with your house help. Some people don't even ask their house helps how they see their period, what happens on their period. They just, you come every day, you walk, they don't care about these little things that could make it easier and more convenient for her. And then also, there's so many things about the menstrual cycle a lot of people don't know. We have women who experience more pains than others. And some people in the workforce, women feel like, oh, if I can survive my menstrual cramps, why can't she survive it? So you're putting unnecessary pressure on the other woman because you feel like, oh, I'm surviving it. And that's where the whole women not supporting women comes. You know, in the office, a girl can't stand because of her period. Another woman is bad-mouthing her, saying, I can do it. And men don't understand that women experience different type of pain. For example, my younger sister has endometritis, and the only way she can cure it is if she removes her uterus. And she's so young, the period is so bad. She was in camp recently, and they were calling us to take her from camp. That's how bad it is. But people feel like, for me, I don't experience pain. So if I'm judging her based on the fact that I don't experience pain, I'll be expecting her to do better than me when it comes to, oh, why are you complaining? Come on, it's just... So I feel we need to create this awareness and let other women know that just because your pain is bearable doesn't mean that her pain is not. So we need to also, that's the awareness we're trying to create for young girls and women out there. That's also another form of support. And then also skill acquisition. We do skill acquisition training at the NGO. We train women fashion designing. I do the fashion designing training. We have shoes and bag. We have skincare, organic, makeup. We want to add more if we can. We want to add cooking, baking, and so forth and so forth. So women who have interest in these things but can't afford it, but they are passionate about it. Every year we have that such a kind of programs too. So yeah. In the Entrepreneurship Women's Foundation, we recently started a program called the Mentor for All Initiative. It was an idea that came up during the lockdown. You know, a lot of kids stopped going to school, but, you know, people who could afford the online classes, you know, private schools were home, you know, they have their laptops, and the teachers continue to teach them. But we fail to forget that people in government schools, they don't even have good teachers, not to talk more of to continue the continuous online learning, e-learning and all. So we felt that it would be a good idea if we could. Obviously, we don't have the ability to have the normal educational curriculum, but we could do like mentorship programs where women all over the world, wherever you are, originally started with women, but then we had men who signed up, and then we introduced, because boys were coming for the program too. So we had to have the men relate with the men and the women with the women. And there are women, we had people from Poland, Belarus, London, we had from Jamaica, America sign up on the program, and we were mentoring these young girls. We had we started in Kuje. Now we're slowing down because, first of all, school has resumed. Secondly, the capacity of the kids we were planning to work with was more than what we planned. So we don't have the resources to keep up with, okay, so, and then, you know, with the rules and regulations, the government, they are very strict with the more than 50 people, and you know, you start gathering children, and next thing you know, the sanction you, oh, you're breaking the laws and you're flouting the regulations. So yeah, so we'll slow down for now until we get more resources. And since we see that it's something that even parents were on board, it's something that we already have our test run, we have programs, we have parents to testify for it, so we can get resources and make it like an extra class, maybe on Fridays for kids in government schools. We'll create the exposure when it comes to the tech world, exposure when it comes to making friends far. It creates confidence, knowing that, oh, I relate to people far away. These people I see in television, or these people I see somewhere, I know I can relate with them. We also want to include online excursions. They don't have to travel out of Nigeria to experience new places. Their mentors can just take them to a new location, talk to them about this. You know, it's just, and then also mentor them on their career path. You know, what they want to do. And I think there's something that we need to expose our young kids to more, and that's the more career opportunities that there are. So far, I think till date, we're still focused on doctor, lawyer, nurse, and that's really holding us back. There are a lot of creative minds. There are a lot of people who want to be, like, I have my sister's son, he's just 13, he's already into business. Yeah, he's doing his own business and all that. So if from small, we need to let them, groom them from what they already are good at. We have people that are good at music. Now we have so many lawyers, so many doctors, and the world is evolving past this thing. We need people that are content creators, producers, you know, editors. More and more of these people, we need more of them, and we don't have so much of them. And there's so many little things, like outside the country, there are people that are historians, they study history, and that helps. People that are linguists, they study languages, and you know, that's a lot of things you can do. But now we're just so we need to also mentor them, career opportunities, and yeah, so that's the Mentor for All initiative. And also mental health awareness for young children. I think we always talk about depression when you are old enough to talk about depression. Nobody talks about depression with their kids. There was a story of a woman who, her child was being molested in school by his teacher, a boy and a man, and he was not able to talk, so he was depressed and he killed himself. It was his younger ones, I think it was 9 or 10, it was his younger ones that found his dead body. And you know, it was so sad because she never took her time to sit back and think, oh, my child has changed, something is off about him. And it was later she started finding out all these things that was going on in his life. And I think a lot of parents neglect children when it comes to the mental health part. We overlook it and feel their kids, they'll be fine. Basically, if there's not financial problem, what are you worried about? Sometimes you just want to stay in your room and cry, heartbreak. You cannot even stay in your room and cry because your parents are on your case. Why are you locking the door? Why are you sad? What's your problem? You know, when it comes to education, they're forcing you to live up to standards that, I mean, every child is unique in certain ways. And then there's some kids, there's some people that are born depressed. You know, it's a clinical problem. Depression is a sickness of the mind, okay? And there's also something else I really wanted to always address. When people say suicide is not an option, I feel it's an ignorant statement. Suicide, when it comes to people that are depressed, at that point, it's an option for them. But we have to let them know it's not the only option. There are favorable options. Like when I have headache, and I'm taking Panadol, you that don't have headache, you won't understand why I'm taking Panadol, you know? Obviously, it's not an option for you, but suicide is not the only option. It's the worst option. In fact, it should not be. It's the worst option. You like that understand that, okay, I know mentally in your head you feel this is a way out, but there are better options, you know, and you suggest these options. That's how you help people that are depressed. You suggest therapy, you suggest them talking to someone. For example, recently I started having, due to my PMS. I get depressed during my period time. And then I didn't really understand because it never happened to me. It started happening last year. And then something told me, just talk, just tell your friends how you feel anytime you're about to see your period, you're not the only one. And then when I started talking, everybody started talking about what they're experiencing too. Oh my God, that period is like, I just want to kill, I don't want to talk to anybody. Even my customers, I was just mentioning and they start talking. Sometimes you just lock the door, they're crying. It's real. Women get depressed sometimes during their period. And then you realize that after a while, as soon as you're done with your period, you're normal. You can't even realize, you can't even remember the feeling. That's how it is for depressed people. They can't control it. It's in their head. And imagine living that life for months and not being able to tell someone how you feel. It's so sad and it's disappointing. So when you tell them it's not an option, you're speaking from how you feel. You have to put yourself in their shoes and understand that at that point, to them, it is an option. But you let them know that it's the worst option. It's not the only option. Then you now give them the best options. You say, okay, there's therapy, or you can call me every day. We could go out. I mean, people that get depressed, they find it really hard to leave, go out. Some do go out, they do, but you try to let them know you can go out. You tell them to talk about your problems. Some people don't have reasons for why they're depressed. Some people do have reasons. Depression is something you can't fix. It's there. Sadness is something you can fix, but at the moment you're just upset. Depression is something you just can't fix. And you have to let them know that in life, things are not going to be perfect. Nobody's happy all the time. So you have to accept that's one of those things and then talk to someone. Therapy is quite expensive in Nigeria. I researched some online homes where they do therapy and the prices are unbelievable, 15,000 an hour. How will someone who is depressed, probably doesn't even have money, pay 15,000 an hour? So also we need to create more options for them, maybe online platforms where they could go and talk to people. And then back to the children part now. So there are a lot of kids that are going through depression and mental health. Depression is not the only mental health case. We have anxiety disorder. We have there's bipolar. These are all mental health issues. And then you see a child acting different and they are judging him based on his peers. This is where teachers and parents need to be very observant with their kids. A bipolar child can have extreme mood emotions. One time they're very happy, the next they're extremely sad. And their sadness is not our normal. Everything for them is extreme. And friends with other people's kids, and then it's being left aside because it's weird, it's different. This is where the awareness should come. And then we have anxiety disorder. You see children who can't come and talk in public, and speak in public, and then the teachers are shouting on them. Can't you do it, your mates? These are things, and then you see they're shaking, they cannot present well. It's a form of anxiety disorder. It also affects their sleeping, and people who have this kind of disorder also take things very personally. They're sensitive. The littlest thing you do to them, they can't sleep at night, it bothers them. That's anxiety disorder. There's so many forms of mental health. Depression is not the only. So if someone is telling you, oh, I'm having mental health issue, you shouldn't think depression first. Oh, what's wrong? Have you gone to the hospital to check what's wrong with you? So these are the things that, especially for young children, you should be focused on. First of all, I hang out with my friends. We plan hangouts. I like to watch Netflix. I like to eat. I like to. If you want to find a restaurant in Abuja, call me. I'll tell you. I go to new restaurants. I try new food. Then what again? I like to gist. I can spend hours on the phone gisting with my friends. There's one thing I don't like to do, and it's chat. I'm terrible at it. So in case you're wondering, Tessy likes to talk, on the phone, but chatting is the worst thing. I'm bad at it. I'm very bad at chatting. My family knows that. No. But sometimes I like to indulge in wine, a glass of wine. When watching my Netflix, kind of makes me a little bit relaxed. And I like to sleep if I can. Any opportunity I get, I sleep. So, I love to read. I like to cook. Cooking is my hobby. Cooking for other people. And reading, And I also write. I write short stories. I know my kind of short story is more expression of pain. So I can write a rape story. I can write, but I've never experienced rape, but I know how to tell people's story from. So I do write short stories and poems. So that's my hobby.
The designs behind you, how is the illustration? Do you draw them yourself? How do you come up with the designs?
So I get inspired from other people's designs, and then I can now modify it. Maybe I can take the hand from here and see, and also I think every designer has their style. something about you, and I'm more of a very feminine style. If you notice, I'm colorful, and then also I like shorts, simple dresses. So I said, okay, yeah, I didn't talk about the 5K store. So during the COVID-19, everybody started holding their money. People would say, okay, what am I sewing for? There's no wedding. But you see, we women, we like to buy clothes. We just need to give them a reason to. 5K dresses where I make Ankara dresses for 5K. So it kind of like, at that point, when people weren't coming to sew, women were like, oh, it's just 5,000 naira. Before you know it, they've bought like 20 pieces. And, yeah, it's just like, so, and it's Ankara. You can wear it indoors. You can wear it on a Friday to work. You can wear it for a simple evening chill. And they're very simple, flare dresses, shorts and airy, so you don't have to worry yourself. And then you can get them. I have the flare versions where you can buy them if you plan to get pregnant and after. So yeah, that's why I started the 25K dresses. And the dream is to be able to sell affordable Ankara all over the world, because I think Ankara is in high demand in foreign countries, and I want to be able to venture out of Nigeria and move out. I have a website that you can buy it online and get it delivered. Everything is done there. So that's the history of my Ankara 5K dresses. But I also do made to fit still. Oh, I just started making it recently. It's like a headband. Funny enough, I just started making it yesterday. Yeah, I saw something like this somewhere, but it wasn't this plated like this. It was just, the whole ruffle, and I'm like, okay. I didn't know how they did that, but I know I could braid one, and I feel like it's just, since I started wearing that, I don't know, I just like it, and it's like a statement piece. If you're someone who likes to be different, and you just, you can just wear this on, I have the Ankara piece too, you could just wear it on a plain dress and go out, and just makes you look different, and I don't know. So it's called my braided hairband. It's for you to just rock it anytime, any day. And for we now that are self-employed, we don't really have a style to choose from. You do not stuck to one style. So yeah, you could use this, all the entrepreneurs and the business owners, and just wear out every day if you want to, different colors. Very affordable too. Well, I think everybody has their strengths and their weaknesses. The reason I don't make clothes for men is because I think I'm a little bit weak in that area. People always wonder, oh, it's just men's dresses, it's just men's clothes. But I like to know what I'm doing. I like to understand what is wrong and what is right. So if I make a dress for an outfit for a man and he complains, I just can't understand it. I know everybody's different. Some people can understand it. There are women who make wonderful clothes for men, but I just can't understand it. So I can't go back to the tailor and say, do it this way. But when it comes to women's clothes, to the littlest detail, I can break down a dress. Even when my tailor says it's not possible, we do it. Like, I will make it. I say, if somebody has sewn this dress for a woman, I tell him it's not possible. The person that sewed it, what did they use? We'll figure it out. But when it comes to men, no matter how simple, it's so difficult for me to just understand it. So I used to make a lot of mistakes with men's clothes, and I just said, okay, I tried it, but I made a lot of mistakes, and then okay, no, it's not for me. I'll just focus on the women's outfits. Most of my branding, my camera and everything. Oh, I love technology a lot. Of course I do. Most of my online branding, my graphic designs, most of them I do it myself. Yeah, for my Resotoni creation page. And yeah, I actually did. My dad always said that maybe, and my sister said I've been good too when it comes to technology if I didn't study law. Because naturally I'm a very curious person. I like to try new things. And then if something breaks, it's me that will ask to fix it, because I'm probably the one that broke it. And if my dad were to buy something he had to assemble, I'll be the one to assemble it. It's just me every time. If something spoils in the house, the remote control is not working, it's me and Kechi, calling Kechi. So yeah, and then when we had a computer, I was always on the computer. I was always, I don't know, probably even crashing it because I was always down. Yeah, that was my life. Yeah, my dad was that. Yeah. So I really do love technology. It's something I feel if I wasn't a fashion designer, I'd have probably been a website developer, or maybe, I don't know, anything tech shop, or building something. And yeah, as regards technology, I'm a lawyer by profession. I was called to bar 2015, December 15th. I'll never forget that day. So I think I'm 6 years post call now, or 7 years post call, one of the two. I don't know how to count that thing. Then I'm a fashion designer by passion, dream, talent. My life is all about fashion. Another thing I really love is interior decoration. I know that's something I'm going to venture in eventually. I want to start taking internship. For that one, I want to do it different. I want to have a mentor. I want to take classes, internship, everything. I love working with colors and making things look nice if I have the opportunity to. And then I'm also a philanthropist, because there's no how I see people and I don't get sad when I see people I'm a philanthropist.
That was Tessy, a multi-skilled entrepreneur inspiring rising and fellow young people, especially women, to create their successful stories. It is on this note that we conclude this episode of the show. Don't forget, you can follow us on TOS Television across all social media platforms at TOS TV Network. Till I come your way next week, I am Merciful Ajinomo. Goodbye.